Hello, we are finally to the end of chapter 32. You made it through your first chapter to finish. So, animals have diversified into about 36 animal phyla, about 36. Of that, we're going to study about 10 of them over the next couple of weeks. In animal phylogeny, we start with a hypothesis about the evolutionary history of the group. So we can look at genome analysis, so see how similar DNA is, what has similar DNA, what has the same DNA, what has very different DNA. We can look at morphology, so we look at shapes, different body plans of animals. We look at their ribosomal RNA genes, their Hox genes, their protein coding genes that they have in the nucleus, and their mitochondrial genes. So we can see and establish relationships between animals. So we have here within our animals, we have some ancestral protists that all animals are related to. Then we have porifera, our sponges, our basal animals that are not made of tissues. Then our eumetazoa would be all the animals that are made of tissues. From here we have our ctenophores, our cnidarians, like jellyfish, and our acoelomates. So, here we have our bilaterians. We have acoelomates, would be the worms without a coelom. Then we develop another lineage here that breaks into deuterostomes and protostomes. Within our deuterostomes, we have hemichordata, echinodermata, and chordates, which leads into mammals and us. Then we have Lophotrochozoans and Ecdysozoans. Lophotrochozoans would be platyhelminths, which would be a type of worms, Syndromata, Ectopoda, Brachiopoda, mollusks, and annelids. And Ecdysozoans, which are named after ecdysis or molting, which would be nematodes and arthropods. So put these in order. For the most probable sequence in which these clades of animals originated, tetrapods, those would be animals with 4 legs, so something like a reptile or an amphibian. Vertebrates, animals that have a backbone. Deuterostomes, amniotes, animals that have an egg with an amniotic fluid, so this would be like reptiles, birds, and mammals. And bilaterians, animals that have bilateral symmetry. So all animals share a common ancestor, this ancestral protist. Sponges are the sister group to all other animals. You can see they split off here where all other animals came here this way. So they're our sister group. They don't have true tissues. Everything else does. Eumetazoans are the animals with tissues. Everything from this point. So branched into all of these. Most animals belong to the clade Bilateria. So here's Bilateria, which goes into all of this. And bilaterian animals include invertebrates, which are animals without a backbone, so like our worms or arthropods, and chordates, which include the vertebrates, animals with backbones. This word clade, I'm not sure if we've defined that in this chapter or not. A clade is a group of animals that all have a common ancestor. So here, nematodes and arthropods all have a common ancestor here at this point. All Lophotrochozoans and Ecdysozoans have a common ancestor here at this point. All bilaterian animals have a common ancestor here at this point. So it doesn't tell you how many animals in it. It doesn't tell you how long ago it had a common ancestor. It just says all of these animals or all of these organisms are related by having this common ancestor at this point. So all bilaterians have a common ancestor here. All deuterostomes have a common ancestor here. So either of those could be considered a clade. Okay, what do animals as diverse as corals and monkeys have in common? Is it A, a body cavity between the body wall and digestive system? B, is it the number of embryonic tissue layers? C, is it the type of body symmetry? D, is it the presence of Hox genes? Or E, is it the degree of cephalization, having a brain, a head with a nervous system, and sensory organs like eyes and ears? If a multicellular animal lacks true tissues, It can be properly included among which clade? Eumetazoans, metazoans, choanoflagellates, Lophotrochozoans, or Bilaterians? Which of those would be a clade that has animals that lack true tissues? Okay, so a clade, here to define it finally. A clade is a group with a common ancestor and all of its descendants. And there are three clades of bilaterians: the Deuterostomes. Deuterostomes include acorn worms, sea stars, and chordates. Ecdysozoans include animals with external skeletons, both nematodes, which are worms that have to shed their skeleton, and arthropods, which are animals with an exoskeleton, and the Lophotrochozoans. The Lophotrochozoans are invertebrates that at some stage have a feeding structure called a lophophore here, and they have a distinct stage of development of larvae called a trochophore larva. Okay, which of the following is true of the clade Ecdysozoa? A, it includes all animals that molt at some time during their lives. B, it includes all animals that undergo metamorphosis at some time during their lives. C, it includes all animals that have body cavities, known as pseudocoeloms. D, it includes all animals with genetic similarities that are shared with no other animals. Or E, it includes all animals in the former clade Deuterostomia that truly do have protostome development. Okay, congratulations, you made it through the chapter. I will see you back, hopefully in class, or if not, we will start discussing chapter 33 next. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you later. Bye.